Okay, I'm going to go in and show you how to grade some of these things that we created. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in and grab one of the Google Forms that we made and show you how to grade it. So what you're going to do is go to Grades, and you'll click on the one that was a Google Form. So I know this Week 2 Science one was a Google Form. And then I'm going to go to Import Grades. So it's going to pull the grades from the form. So this child made a 5 out of 18. And of course I just clicked things so that y'all could see that. So when I click on that child's actual work, the Google form isn't going to show up. I'm going to show you how you can see their actual form in a minute. But, so I might add a comment to this child. Please reopen your form and work on your incorrect answers. If the person making the form made it to where they can reopen it, that works. If not, you can reopen it for them when you return it to them. So I'm going to send this message to that child, as well as return it to them. So if you have multiple students that have turned it in, you can do this to all of them at one time by clicking multiple. You don't have to do it every single time. You could go and put a comment for all of them and then return them all at the same time. There would be more than one right here for you. So I'm going to return that back to the child. Now they can see their score if they click on the assignment again, and they'll get their message from their teacher. So that's the really simple version of how to shoot back information on a Google form. Let me also talk about how to grade your Google form if it had a constructed response. Because I know that we're trying to, this week we didn't have a constructed response, but the next week we will. So when you want to do one with a constructed response, you need, before you go through the process I just showed you, you need to make sure you go to where your Google form was saved. If you copied it the way I showed you in the videos, then your Google form is going to be saved in the original folder, just under a different name. So, for example, these are where our science Google Forms are saved. We were working on week 2, so I know that this one's mine. I'm actually going to put this one in the trash. So this is the one that is mine. My students' answers were going to it. So it's going to say that I have one response. This is the one student that has answered my Google form. When I click on responses and I go to individual forms, you're going to see here is Samantha's form. It has her name, and you can click through right here if you had multiple ones turn it in. So it's going to tell you what they picked for their their multiple choice. I just went through and picked whatever. But at the very bottom was their constructed response, and you can see that I gave this child a 2. But you're going to be able to manipulate this number. It was out of 2, so I would just say 2, and I would save it. And then I would go over to the next child and scroll down. And so once I save it, and then I go back to my Google Classroom, again, I would go to Grades. I would go to Week 2 Science. I want to import the grades that I just sent over from the constructed response. It's going to tell me their grade with the 2 points that I gave them for their constructed response. Then I would go through the same process. Click on the name, add a little comment, and then send it back to them. Of course, I already sent this one back, so I can't send it again. So that is how you can grade a Google form and send your comments back to the students.